Revealed miraculous blessings, a supernatural morning prayer for divine life and heavenly gains. In a quaint English village, a single mother named Mary faced a storm of epic proportions. Her heart raced with fear as her daughter's terminal illness loomed like a dark shadow, threatening their once radiant lives. Desperation clawed at her spirit as unanswered prayers echoed in her soul, bouncing off the ancient church's stone walls. That sacred place, with its towering spire reaching towards the heavens, became her refuge, a realm of whispered hopes and fragile faith. The village pastor, an embodiment of compassion, gently unlocked the door to the miraculous. "Mary, try morning prayers dedicated to St. Jude," he suggested, his eyes twinkling with a divine understanding. "He is the patron saint of lost causes." Mary grasped his words like a lifeline. She lit candles, causing their flames to dance like tiny angels, casting radiant reflections of faith on the stained glass windows. Suddenly, whispers of divine intervention floated through the church, and Mary found herself surrounded by a prayer group of fellow mothers, each with their own trials, their faces etched with both sorrow and hope. Together, they shared stories infused with miracles, and for the first time in months, warmth bloomed in Mary's heart. It was as if each prayer exhaled life into her spirit. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, but with every flicker of newfound faith, a thick fog of doubt began to creep into the corners of Mary's heart. Despair struck when the doctors delivered ominous news, shaking her belief to its roots. The village rallied for her daughter, uniting in an impromptu prayer vigil that swelled within the church, filling the air like the sweet scent of incense. "God is listening," the pastor assured, his voice trembling with conviction. Caught between the faithful whispers of her community and her rising despair, Mary stumbled into the world of alternative treatments. Each attempt at healing turned into a dead end, the promise of solace dissolving into ashes of heartbreak. Time marched on with relentless urgency, the clock striking deeper into her fears, draining her faith like a dwindling candle. Then, in the quietest hour before dawn, desperation pulsed through Mary's veins. Clutching her rosary, she sank to the floor of her living room, setting an altar of faith in the stillness. "Please, just one sign," she cried. In that fervent prayer, a rush of light enveloped her, colors swirled, forming breathtaking visions that spoke of divine love and whispered reassurances. Tears streamed down her face as warmth radiated from her heart, yet, as the first light of day crept through the window, doubt loomed again. Was this vision a prelude to miraculous healing, or just fleeting comfort? Hope blossomed within, yet shadows danced on the fringes of her spirit, teasing her with uncertainty. Mary stood on the precipice of faith, enveloped in the tension between despair and hope, questioning if she should share her miracle with the prayer group, fearing that their upcoming morning session might hold the key to her daughter's fate. The dawn broke golden and soft, casting beams of light that seemed to dance across the walls of Mary's home. She lingered in the afterglow of her vision, clinging to the warmth that still flickered in her heart. Yet, uncertainty tugged at her mind. The battle between faith and doubt raged fiercely in her spirit. As she moved towards the kitchen, the aroma of freshly brewed tea filled the air, a comforting ritual that momentarily silenced her racing thoughts. "What do I do?" she whispered to herself. Her heart craved connection, yet fear wove thick threads around her words. Would they understand her experience? Would they see it as divine? Or would they question her in earnest? With every clatter of the cups, her resolve faltered. Just as she poured the steaming water over the tea leaves, she recalled the faces of the women from the prayer group, their laughter, their tears, their shared burdens. "They need to hear this," a quiet inner voice urged. "Perhaps your vision is meant for them too." The sun's rays slipped through the window, illuminating her humble space, giving it an almost sacred quality. Later, as Mary walked to the church, her steps felt heavier than ever. The weight of her heart was palpable, an electric tension in the air around her. She recalled the pastor's gentle smile, the embrace of the community that had gathered around her in her darkest times. With each step, she whispered her fears to God, pushing aside thoughts of inadequacy. "If you are with me, give me courage," she prayed, arriving at the stone threshold of the church. Inside, the prayer group was already assembling, their chatter a comforting murmur. She hesitated at the door, observing the familiar faces filled with devotion and the flickering candles casting a warm glow upon the walls steeped in history. Mustering her courage, she stepped in and the warmth enveloped her like a hug from heaven. "Mary!" one of the mothers exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. "We've been praying for you." Their voices wrapped around her like a soft blanket. But that warmth faded as doubt slinked back in, its whispers stirring the air. "What if they don't believe?" she thought. Yet, she felt guided to speak. As the group settled into a circle, Mary couldn't shake the pull within her heart. The pastor opened the session with a prayer, inviting the spirit of hope among them. "Today, let us share our needs, our cries for help," he said, his voice steady, echoing through the sacred space. Mary's heart quickened, her hands trembled slightly, but when her turn arrived, the words spilled forth. "I must share something with you all," she began, her voice clear as she recounted the vision. The room fell silent, all eyes resting upon her, filled with awe. Some mothers exchanged glances, while others leaned forward, eager to absorb every word. "I saw light, and I felt such love." Hope ignited within the hearts gathered, a flicker expanding to a flame. Yet, as she spoke, a niggling thought echoed in her mind. What would happen if this newfound belief did not lead to healing? The fear of disappointment loomed large, a specter haunting each moment. But was it her vision that mattered more than the outcome? The pastor nodded, his expression grateful yet solemn. "Mary, sometimes, God speaks to us in ways we least expect," he said, holding her gaze firmly. "Maybe this vision is meant to rally us together, to strengthen our own faith." Suddenly, the church doors swung open, and a strong breeze poured in, stirring the candles and carrying with it a peculiar rustling sound. All eyes turned toward the entrance. Something extraordinary was about to unfold. With an anticipatory hush, the group exchanged nervous glances, the air thick with anticipation. "What do you suppose it could be?" Mary wondered, intrigue and dread weaving through her heart as hope flickered anew within her spirit. The moment of revelation beckoned, waiting to unravel the very fabric of their faith. The breeze swirled through the room, tousling hair and weaving whispers of excitement among the prayer group. Mary's heart raced, an orchestra of hope and uncertainty playing within. For the first time that day, the weight on her shoulders seemed lighter, if only for a moment. All eyes were fixed on the threshold, where a figure with an ethereal radiance stood, a newcomer, cloaked in a white garment that glimmered under the soft light of the candles. "Who or what is that?" a voice murmured from the back of the room, trembling with curiosity. Mary, feeling a mix of awe and apprehension, took a step closer, drawing strength from the presence surrounding her. It was as though time slowed down, every heartbeat echoing in her ears, amplifying the sacredness of the moment. The figure stepped forward, and behind their serene gaze, she sensed a depth of love that was profound yet nurturing. "Fear not," the figure spoke, their voice melodic and warm, wrapping around the gathered hearts like a soft embrace. "I am sent forth with a message of hope and healing." The pastor rose, his demeanor transitioning from wonderment to solemnity. "We welcome you. Please, share your message with us." Mary could see the flickering flames of the candles dance in response to the figure's words, as if affirming every syllable. Encouragement washed over her, and the doubt that had anchored her suddenly felt like scattered leaves in the wind. "I bear tidings of grace," the figure continued, their eyes shimmering like the dawn. "The Lord has heard your cries and your prayers. He will manifest His power among you this very day." Gasps of disbelief mingled with exclamations of joy sounded throughout the room. Mary felt a rush of warmth flood her spirit, igniting the flicker of faith that blossomed within. The vision she had shared felt more tangible now, a thread connecting her to this holy moment. "Let not your hearts be troubled," the figure reassured them, glancing around the room as if meeting each gaze with an unwavering love. "For the divine light that touched Mary is but a fragment of the greater love that surrounds you all. Healing will come to those who believe." "How can we prepare for this?" one of the mothers questioned eagerly, her eyes bright with expectation. "Open your hearts," the figure replied gently. "Embrace each other in unity and prayer. The power of your collective faith shall be your strength." Mary's heart swelled. She exchanged emotional glances with the women around her, those who had shared burdens and boasted joys. "We can do this," she thought, feeling the Spirit stir her voice once more. "Together, let us pray." Mary called, her words punctuated by the intensity of her belief. The group clasped their hands, forming a circle filled with faith. As they bowed their heads, a powerful energy surrounded them, the kind that felt like a warm hug on a chilly day, engulfing them in comfort and peace. With every utterance of their prayers, the room filled with an electric current, an unexplainable vibration resonating through the walls of the church. Would they witness a miracle? Would they feel the healing, the love, the light that had filled Mary's vision? Eyes closed, hearts lifted, they prayed together, voices mingling into a chorus of hope. Suddenly, the breeze that had entered with the figure began to swirl once more. Candles flickered wildly, and an unmistakable sense of presence enveloped them. "Something is happening," another woman shouted, lifting her head. Mary's heart pounded with excitement and fear. What is coming? She wondered. Something extraordinary was indeed unfolding, a spiritual awakening ready to transform their faith forever. As they carried on, the feeling in the air heightened, thick with anticipation and divine promise. They stood on the edge of the miraculous, where faith met the inexplicable. What blessings did the Lord have in store that day? Only time would reveal the depth of His love. The energy in the room pulsed like a heartbeat, undulating between breaths of anticipation and whispers of reverence. Mary felt enveloped in a cocoon of faith, as if every soul present was tethered by an invisible thread of belief. They were no longer merely a prayer group, they were a community, a family bound together in a sacred quest. With every spoken word, the atmosphere thickened with hope, and Mary could hear the rhythm of their united hearts, a melody of surrender and anticipation. Each prayer released felt like a seed planted in the fertile soil of divine promise, waiting to blossom into beautiful manifestations. Then, suddenly, as if responding to their collective yearning, the figure raised their hand, and the room fell silent. A hush enveloped them, reverent and expectant. "Believe with me," the figure beckoned softly. "The Lord's touch is near. Prepare your hearts and minds to receive what has been promised." Mary's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, witnessing this holy exchange. She felt emboldened, a spark igniting within her the assurance that heaven was moving amidst them. "We are here, Lord," she whispered silently, feeling the echoes of her unworthiness dissolve into grace. At that moment, the figure began to speak once more, their voice resonating with an undeniable authority. "In the days to come, you will see miracles manifest in ways you cannot yet fathom. Be diligent in your faith. Rejoice in every small blessing, for they are signs of a greater outpouring to come." Each word wrapped itself around the hearts of the listeners like a protective shield, dissolving doubt and igniting courage. Eyes opened around the circle. A woman in front of Mary gasped suddenly, clutching her chest as she felt a wave of warmth radiate through her. I feel lighter," she exclaimed, disbelief painted across her features. The others turned to her, astonished, their faith exchanging glances of possibility. "I can see clearer," a man added, his voice trembling. "It's like fog has lifted." Murmurs of astonishment rippled through the group, connecting individuals with bonds deeper than they had known. "A new day is dawning," whispered the figure, a gentle smile gracing their face. "But do not mistake it as merely a change in time. It is a shift in your hearts, a transformation woven into the very fabric of your being. Prepare to become vessels of His love." Mary's heart soared. Each miracle they experienced felt like a stepping stone leading them towards a greater experience of the divine. The whispers turned into voices as members of the group started to share their own experiences, their own healing, each testimony building upon the last. God has always been here, waiting for us to open our eyes, Mary thought, tears flowing freely now. She looked around, seeing the uplifted faces, each one reflecting the shared understanding of an invisible yet palpable change in the spiritual climate. But just as they began to settle into this euphoric momentum, another rush of wind filled the room, this one more intense, almost tangible. It stirred the candles once more, casting shadows that danced along the walls, and deep in her spirit, Mary sensed a new depth was approaching, a call for a new awakening. The figure, still radiant, beamed with love. "Remember, beloveds, your faith is the key that unlocks the heavens. What you seek will be revealed. What awaits you is far beyond human understanding." Yet, a flicker of uncertainty laced the joy that filled Mary's heart. What laid ahead? What exactly did the Lord desire to reveal? As they gathered their hearts for renewed prayer, Mary felt a tremor of both fear and excitement. The transformative power they prayed for was within reach. An unmistakable pull urged her to trust deeper than ever before. What divine mysteries were awaiting them next? Would they be ready to embrace what was to come? Only the Spirit could lead them on this wondrous journey. Mary's spirit fizzed with anticipation as they settled back into prayer. The air around them seemed to shimmer, buoyed by the swelling energy of collective faith. As her eyes closed, she focused on the pulse of the moment, a rhythm that resonated like the heartbeat of something greater. "Lord, we yearn for your presence," she silently pleaded, allowing her breath to synchronize with the energy that enveloped them. A blend of serenity and zeal danced through her heart, as if numerous angels circled above, whispering encouragement. One by one, the voices rose again, a symphony of hopes and desires mingling together, each request ascending like gentle offerings to heaven. A soft, luminous glow began to envelop the corners of the room, and Mary felt her heartbeat quicken, vibrating in tandem with fervent prayers around her. Suddenly, with a soft rustle, the figure opened their arms widely as the glow intensified. "Look! The heavens respond to your faith," they proclaimed, their voice echoing like a vibrant chorus. The atmosphere thickened, becoming saturated with an aura of divine love that pressed gently against each soul. Mary's eyes flew open as she sensed a shift, a moment of both spontaneity and holiness. The room was no longer just a physical space, it had transformed into a portal to the heavens, where tangible blessings flowed freely. The murmurs became gasps, as several members of the group were overtaken by a tangible warmth. "His grace weaves through us like a tapestry," Mary thought, her heart racing. She looked towards the woman who had felt lighter earlier, now glowing as if wrapped in divine light. "I can breathe so deeply now, it's like I'm being filled with pure love," the woman exclaimed, her joy igniting contagious energy among those gathered. The vibrancy of her spirit rang true, causing others to laugh and cry within the overwhelming presence of God. Then, a collective shout of joy erupted when the man who had spoken of clarity now saw light in a fresh revelation. "I understand now. It's like the weight of the world has been lifted. We are being made new." His eyes sparkled brightly, the clarity of his understanding radiating outward, illuminating others' hearts. The figure, witnessing the unfolding miracles, nodded gently. "What you see is but a glimpse of what the Lord has poured out for you. Keep your hearts open. Trust in His timing, for what is to come will astonish you." Mary felt herself teetering between elation and solemnity. The warnings and promises danced in her mind, blending with the jubilant mood of the room. "Yet come, Lord," she found herself whispering. "Let us not only see today, but show us the depths of our need." The warmth in the air shifted once more. Mary felt the embrace of the Holy Spirit wrap around them like a loving blanket. "It's unfolding," she realized, her heart vast with possibility. The others realized it too, sensing the impending surge, awaiting the divine surprises that awaited them. "Beloveds," the figure intoned, their smile illuminating the room. "Embrace the unknown. Take this time to prepare your hearts, for the journey ahead will call for unyielding faith, a willingness to let go and let him lead. Mary felt her heartbeat quicken once more at the thought of what lay ahead. A surge of questions filled her mind. Were they truly ready? Was her faith strong enough to meet the demands of what the Lord intended to reveal? "We are ready," one of the group members shouted, a fire igniting among them, yet, deep within, Mary felt the tremors of uncertainty again, mingling with the thrilling joy of the moment. "What next, Lord? Where will our journey lead us?" The question hovered, radiant with potential. With faith as their compass, they embarked into the beautiful unknown. As Mary and her companions stood together, anticipation filled the air like the first light of dawn breaking over a distant horizon. They could almost touch the promise that swirled around them. Each heart beat in harmony, echoing a deep-seated trust that the Lord would guide them throughout the unfolding journey. Faces illuminated with hope, they exchanged glances woven with shared courage. "Let us lift our petitions once more," the figure gently suggested, a spark of encouragement dancing in their eyes. Without hesitation, Mary inhaled deeply, feeling the light around them swell. "Lord, we are ready," she voiced, her heart stirring. "Show us your path." In that moment of vulnerability, as others joined in fervent prayer, it felt like they were casting a net into the unknown, confident that God's mercy would guide them. The room darkened momentarily, only to come alive with even brighter radiance. Mary noticed that the figure seemed to pulsate with the glow, the divine echo of every soul present resonating through the very fiber of their being. Their lips whispered together, hearts open, trusting that every word would reach the throne of grace. Then, abruptly, silence fell like a warm blanket. The weight of holy anticipation was palpable. Mary felt the sudden urge to listen, to hush her heart and just be. A crackle of energy flickered through the stillness, and she realized the air was saturated with sacred expectancy. "Prepare your hearts for blessing," the figure finally said, their voice soft but commanding. "Your devotion has been seen." Miracles happen when faith and obedience align. Mary felt a wave of reassurance rush through her. The idea that their faithful declarations had significance echoed inside, enriching her spirit. She glanced at her friends, all 5 of them sharing this sacred moment. Each face wore an expression of awe and wonder, vibrating with a divine resonance that could not be overlooked. "Can we talk about emptiness?" one of the women began, her voice trembling but steady. "I've long carried burdens too heavy to bear. It's time to release what weighs me down." The tone in the room shifted, sadness mingling with hope, and Mary could feel the truth of her words. "Yes," another added excitedly. "We need to lay down our fears, our doubts, all the things keeping us from what God has for us." There was an electric energy in the acknowledgement of their struggles, an acceptance that resonated deep in their hearts. Mary returned to her own thoughts, reflecting on the volatile connection between faith and fear. "Lord, help us confront those things, the anxieties we cling to. We want your peace to flood our spirits instead." As they continued to pour out their prayers, Mary felt the loving touch of the Holy Spirit wrap around them, drawing them closer. The flickering lights in the room seemed to respond, moving with flickers of colors that mimicked a heavenly dance. An unmistakable warmth settled over Mary, comfort, like a soft embrace in a storm. She felt encouraged to dive deeper, to excavate the layers of her heart and lay bare her vulnerabilities. Time slipped away, and the atmosphere thickened as if occupied by countless unseen witnesses. In this sacred moment, Mary began hearing whispers. Gentle, comforting revelations flowed through her mind. "You are not bound by your past," the whispers sang softly, like a chorus replete with compassion. "I have plans for you, plans filled with hope and promise." Overwhelmed, Mary clasped her hands together, surrendering more of herself to the rhythm of the divine. With each heartbeat, a sense of joy surged within her. They all sensed the shift, each breath igniting a burning desire for transformation. Then, like a gust of wind carrying leaves through an open window, there came a sudden inspiration. What if the next step includes not just healing, she mused, but an invitation to share in his works? As the revelation lingered in the air, their eager hearts braced themselves, sensing that the next chapter of their journey would be unlike any they had ever known. The figure's eyes sparkled with wisdom, horizon-laden with potential, watching them embrace the possibilities ahead. "Keep trusting in me," they instructed, their tone both gentle and firm. "For you are about to witness the incredible, the miraculous. Your lives intertwined with divine purpose." As they marinated in this profound truth, Mary felt the pull of hope tightening around her. "Will tomorrow bring forth our truest selves?" she pondered. The question resonated within like a drumbeat, hinting that the answers would come, but only through faith and dedication. What awaited them on the morrow held the promise of something extraordinary. The morning sun streamed through the window, casting golden rays across the room where Mary and her companions gathered once more. The atmosphere felt different today, a palpable buzz of divine expectancy. Mary sensed the warmth on her skin, like the gentle touch of God Himself, and with it came a determination to step boldly into the day. "Let us begin with a moment of silence," she suggested, her voice steady. It was a call to pause, to reflect on the promises that hung like dew on the fragile leaves of faith. They closed their eyes, drawing breath deep into their spirits. In that sacred hush, a powerful thought pierced through Mary's heart. What if God was about to reveal something more profound than their wildest dreams? She felt the presence of the Lord wrap around them, each minute stretching into an eternity of potential. It stirred her, making her yearn for revelation. "Lord," she whispered, "what do you want us to see today?" Others shifted slightly, the anticipation so thick it was almost tangible. They filled the silence with the soft sounds of their prayers, steam rising from their open hearts like incense, reaching toward heaven with every request, every yearning. Suddenly, a rush of energy surged through Mary, igniting her spirit. She opened her eyes, meeting the gaze of her friends, who had caught the same fire. "Today," she breathed, exhilarated by the moment, "we'll walk in expectation." One of the companions, Sarah, lifted her hands. "We've prayed for peace and courage. But let us also invite the miraculous. What if today is the day we see God's power break through?" "Yes." Another voice chimed in. "Let us not just sit in this room, let us carry this divine spark out into the world." Everyone nodded, the energy in the room amplifying with each shared thought, each generated prayer. "Let us speak our hopes aloud," Mary encouraged. It felt like a sacred challenge, igniting a roaring faith among them. "Restoration," Sarah cried, her voice trembling with passion. "Restoration of relationships I thought were lost." "Provision," another companion added, eyes wide with excitement. "We need to declare God's abundant supply in every area of our lives." "Healing," Mary's voice joined the symphony, rising above the others. "Bodies, minds, hearts, heal us all, Lord." Each declaration built upon the others, swells of faith rising like waves crashing against the shore. Mary felt an anchor of hope set deep in her soul. They were alive, bursting with purpose and poised to act. As they continued to call out their promises, the figure from before returned, vibrant and shimmering. A sweet smile played on their lips, and the room lit up with ethereal light, bathing everyone in warmth. "Good and faithful servants," the figure's voice enveloped them. "Your prayers resonate in heaven. The dawn of miracles approaches. Expect not just blessings but a revelation of my spirit." Mary's heart raced. This was more than she had hoped for. "What is it, Lord? What are you unveiling to us?" The figure lingered, their eyes sparkling with an inviting mystery. "Every desire of your hearts is reflected in my love. But listen closely, sometimes the answers you seek are hidden in the roads you least expect." A ripple of excitement ran through the group, curiosity igniting within them. There was a knowing, an understanding that they were on the cusp of something magnificent. "Will our journey unfold not just in prayer, but in deeds?" Mary wondered aloud, feeling her heart beat in anticipation. "Yes." Sarah responded with a fervor that sparked an echo of agreement in the room. The air was electric with faith, and with it came the sweet smell of something new, something just beyond the horizon. They clasped hands, hearts beating as one, holding space for God's plans. "Let us walk into the world ready to act," Mary declared. "Ready to embrace the unexpected." As they released their hands and prepared to journey forth, Mary felt an urgency rising within her. Was this the day they would witness the power of God transform not only their lives but the lives around them? The thought pulsed with anticipation, its edges blooming with possibilities. What divine surprises awaited? Only the future would unveil those answers. Stepping out into the vibrant morning, the group felt the cool air wrap around them like a gentle embrace. Mary breathed deeply, her heart racing with newfound hope. Each footfall felt ordained, a deliberate step toward the miraculous as sunlight danced on patches of dew-kissed grass. "Where do we begin?" one of her companions asked, looking around in awe. There was an unspoken understanding that today they would act on their faith, not merely entrust it to the winds of prayer. Mary turned to the group, her eyes bright with excitement. "Let's south visit the park first. There's life and energy there. Perhaps we'll find someone in need of hope or healing." As they made their way to the park, laughter and the singing of birds filled the air. Young children played joyfully, while the elderly couple strolled hand in hand, sharing warm smiles under the sun's loving gaze. It was a scene of joy, and yet Mary felt a weight pressing on her heart, an eagerness to share an even greater joy. Arriving at the park, they settled on a bench under a sprawling oak. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, whispering promises of peace and joy. "I sense we should start by offering prayers right here," Mary suggested. "Let us seek divine direction before we talk to anyone." They closed their eyes, feeling the same warmth from earlier envelop them again. Mary led the prayer, lifting her voice in gratitude, centering their hearts on the Lord's purpose for that day. "Lord, guide us toward those who weary. Show us how to share your love." As she prayed, she felt a stirring in her spirit that signaled something was about to unfold. Suddenly, a soft voice interrupted. "Excuse me?" A woman stood nearby, appearing hesitant yet drawn to the group's energy. She seemed to carry the weight of the world in her eyes. Mary opened her eyes and smiled warmly. "Hello. How can we help you today? I couldn't help but notice you all. It's like light radiates from you." "I'm just so lost," the woman's voice quivered, revealing deep-seated pain. "Come sit with us," Sarah urged, motioning to the empty space beside her. The trembling woman took a seat, her eyes scanning their faces for reassurance. "What's been weighing on your heart?" Mary asked, leaning in with compassion. "I lost my job last month, and my family is struggling. I've been praying for hope, but nothing seems to change." Tears glimmered in the woman's eyes, calling forth a collective empathy among the group. In that moment, Mary felt a surge of boldness. "We believe in the power of prayer and action. We want to stand with you and pray for your situation, but we also want to help practically. Can we bring you some food and resources this week?" The woman's eyes widened, surprise mingling with a glimmer of hope. "Really? You would do that for me?" "Absolutely," Mary replied, her heart swelling with love. "You are not alone. God has plans for you, and we're honored to serve as your hands today." The group gathered around the woman, laying hands on her shoulders, and fervently prayed for restoration and provision. Words flowed like water, filled with promise and divine possibilities, as Mary felt the Spirit infusing their every utterance with power. As they concluded the prayer, a new light shone in the woman's eyes, a flicker of faith ignited where despair had been. "I don't even know how to thank you," she whispered, a tear rolling down her cheek. With hugs, they bid her farewell, and Mary turned to her friends, exhilarated. "This is just the beginning. Who else needs to feel this love?" With hearts wide open, they were ready to embrace the unexpected. The sun shined brighter, beckoning them onward. Each step felt like a call to action. What other opportunities for miracles were waiting just around the corner? Would they be bold enough to pursue them? Mary's spirit danced with anticipation, spinning threads of faith and divine connection. They were not merely observers of God's power, they were carriers of it. What awaited them next on this journey filled with promise? Mary and her friends felt a surge of energy as they rose from the bench, their hearts united in purpose. It was as if the very air was charged with possibility, alive with the promise of divine encounters waiting to unfold. Each smile exchanged among them echoed a silent prayer that urged them onward. Where to next? David, one of the companions, asked, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Shall we explore deeper into the park? I sense there's a heartbeat here, somewhere in need of our prayer. Mary nodded, her spirit soaring. Yes. Let us walk towards that gathering of people by the fountain. It looks like there are families and friends gathered there. We might find someone who needs encouragement. As they approached the fountain, the sound of splashing water sang a joyful melody. Children laughed and chased each other, their youthful giggles mingling with the laughter of parents. Yet, within this vibrant scene, Mary kept her gaze attentive, sensing that hidden among the joy, there were those whose hearts were heavy. Then she noticed a man sitting alone on a bench nearby, his brow furrowed and hands clenched. He looked isolated, even amidst the bustling cheer around him. Mary felt the gentle tug of her spirit urging her to reach out. Let us go speak to him, she whispered to her friends. With unwavering confidence, they approached the man. Good morning, Mary said softly, sitting down beside him. You seem deep in thought. Is there something weighing on your heart? The man looked up, surprise washing over his features. I didn't expect anyone to notice me. His voice broke slightly. I've been struggling with my health lately, and I'm facing decisions that scare me. Compassion welled up within Mary. You are not alone in this fight. Can we pray with you? We believe there's power in prayer and that God can bring you comfort and healing. He hesitated for a moment, vulnerability shining through his eyes. Then, nodding slowly, he agreed. I'd like that if you truly believe it can make a difference. With that, the group gathered around him, hands placed gently on his shoulders. Mary led the prayer, asking for God's healing touch and guidance. Her words were filled with conviction, weaving an atmosphere of faith and hope that surrounded them. As she prayed, Mary could feel the weight of despair lifting, not only from the man but within the group as well. Suddenly, a sense of clarity filled her heart, almost as if she could hear whispers of encouragement fluttering around them. When the prayer ended, the man looked at them, astonished. I felt something shifted inside me. Thank you for seeing me, for reaching out. You are worthy of love and support, Sarah replied, her eyes shining. We will continue standing with you. Let us know how we can help even more. Before they departed, Mary slid a small card into the man's hand. This has our contact information. We'd love to check in and support you. Don't hesitate to reach out. As they walked away, Mary's heart pounded with joy. This is what it's all about. We can be that light, that hope. Who else can we touch with his love today? The group moved onward, the sun casting a golden hue around them. With each step, a deep sense of fulfillment stirred within Mary. It was becoming clearer they were building connections and sharing more than just prayers. They were building a community grounded in love and hope. Just as they turned a corner, Mary caught sight of an elderly woman sitting alone on a park bench, her face creased with worry. What is God planning for us next? Mary mused as they approached her. The answer felt tantalizingly close yet shrouded in mystery, as if the next chapter of this unfolding story was waiting to be revealed. Would they be ready for what awaited? As Mary and her friends approached the elderly woman, her gaze met Mary's with a flicker of recognition. Her eyes spoke volumes of sorrow and untold stories weighed down by a lifetime of heartaches and struggles. Mary felt a surge of compassion swell within her. She understood that each wrinkle told of battles fought and a heart yearning for hope. Good afternoon, Mary greeted softly, taking a seat beside the woman. What's on your mind today? The woman sighed deeply, hesitation evident in her expression. It's been a long while since I felt joy. My husband passed last year, and the weight of loneliness has grown heavy. I just feel lost, she confessed, tears pooling in her eyes. Mary's heart broke at the raw honesty. This was not just a random encounter. Instead, it felt divinely orchestrated, like a thread weaving together their stories. You matter, Mary assured her, and you are not forgotten. We would love to pray with you. Your grief is valid, and you don't have to carry it alone. And so, they joined hands around the bench, creating a small circle of warmth and love, enveloped by the brilliant sunshine that poured down and embraced them. Mary poured her heart into the prayer, invoking comfort and healing from the burdens that weighed so heavily on the woman's spirit. As they prayed, she could feel a visible shift in the atmosphere, like a soft breeze sweeping through with promises of peace. The woman squeezed Mary's hand. Thank you, she whispered, a faint smile breaking through the darkness that had ensnared her. I haven't felt this light in a long time. With renewed hope, the woman opened up about cherished memories with her husband, laughter creeping into her voice as she recounted tales of love and companionship. The more she spoke, the more her spirit seemed to revive, her heart stirred as she connected with her past, weaving the joyful memories back into her life. Let us not end here. Sarah exclaimed, capturing the moment. As a community, let us hold on to the good. Why don't we gather more people here? Share stories, prayers, and joy. An open invitation. David added, grinning widely. We can bring hope into this park. Together. Who knows who else needs to experience this light? Mary felt a warm glow radiating within her. They were carriers of light, becoming a beacon amidst the shadows not just for one another but for all those who crossed their path. With the elderly woman's encouragement, they began calling friends and family to join them in a spontaneous gathering. As more faces filled the park, the atmosphere transformed, rippling with joy and anticipation. Laughter intertwined with sacred stories, warmth seeped into the cool autumn afternoon, creating a symphony of shared experiences that drew the heart's essence closer to God. Let us pray together for those who still linger in darkness, Mary proposed, her voice strong with conviction. May our united faith break chains that bind them. Hands clasped, they formed a large circle where hope blossomed. Mary led the prayer again, and as she prayed, she envisioned light pouring into every heart present, flooding their minds with peace. A hush fell over the crowd as they tenderly spoke every name, every burden to the Lord. People began to open up, sharing their stories and heartfelt prayers. One woman expressed her recent struggles with anxiety, another man tackled the pain of a failed business. Each shared word knitted a tapestry of love, understanding, and courage that bound them together like a family ignited by divine purpose. The figure they had encountered before, a mesmerizing presence, reappeared at the edge of the gathering, observing with approval. Mary caught sight of the radiance and felt an electric attraction. The figure embodied everything they had been praying for, a tangible reflection of God's love illuminating their lives. Your faith, beloveds, has paved the way for great transformation, the figure spoke, their voice carrying an authority that wrapped around every listener like a security blanket. The burdens shared, the love poured out. This is what it means to live and spread the gospel. Healing begins here. Continue to inspire each other. Build this community and watch the wonders unfurl. Joy bubbled within Mary like a rushing river. They were being summoned to not only receive blessings but to act as vessels for those blessings, to represent light and love in a world hungry for connection. Today would mark the change, a catalyst for something far bigger than themselves. As they began to disperse, charged with newfound purpose, Mary turned to her friends and community members, her eyes shining with gratitude. Together, we're not just changing lives, we're transforming hearts. Let us carry this forward and continue to shine His light into every corner. With one last group prayer, they thanked God for His abundant love, sending them forth wherever they felt called, fueled by incredible unity and spiritual connection. Each step felt as if they were walking straight into divine destiny, sowing seeds of faith and love that would continue to blossom far beyond what they could ever envision. this wondrous day was just the beginning of their journey, the dawn of miraculous blessings that would echo through their village and beyond. And with every sunrise that followed, they would keep their hearts aligned, ready for God's next extraordinary display of love. As their footsteps echoed on the pathways of that park, Mary felt an unmistakable truth settle in her heart. God's hand was upon them, guiding, leading, igniting flames of faith, and urging them forward into the glorious unknown. Together, they were filled with purpose, and their collective faith served as evidence of what the Lord can do. Now, dear friend, it's time for you to act in faith too. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories and witness the miraculous unfold. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. It truly makes a difference in spreading the light. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this sacred journey, and how you're embracing your own blessings. And finally, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of God's transformative power. This is the moment to show your support and join us in this incredible adventure of faith. Don't wait even one more second.